Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey everybody, this is Katie.
And this is Sharon.
And you are listening to the Two Artsy Gals. Yay! I got to see Sharon today, so I'm a little bit giddy. As a matter of fact,
It was quite exciting.
As a matter of fact, you know what, Sharon?
What?
You're totally giving me wood. Balsa wood.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I had a couple drinks with dinner.
That's
silly.
terrible.
No, I know, but I had to make a joke because we are talking about balsa wood today. So I kind of had to make a joke about getting wood because it's fucking funny, all right?
It is funny. It might be a little funnier to you right now.
It might
but
be.
no, it's funny.
It's funny.
So you've got to tell me all about this because I've never used it.
Well, you, I'm sure, have you've never used wood. Sorry. All right, I'll stop, I swear to God.
Oh my god.
You've used balsa wood, though. I mean, you've had those little balsa wood airplanes and stuff from when we were kids, right?
Well, yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, the kids have had them.
So, everybody must know what balsa wood is. I like to call it, it's kind of like, I always thought when I was a kid that it was somehow a styrofoam tree. Because it almost feels like the wood almost feels like styrofoam of some sort.
It does. It has a soft consistency.
But yeah, if you've ever had one of those little crazy airplanes that you get and it has a little rubber band and you wind the propeller and then you throw it and it goes, that's made out of balsa wood. So, and balsa wood is awesome stuff for lots of uses.
I'm excited to learn all about it.
I like it. Okay, we're going to start off with the fact that it is it's a sustainable resource because balsa wood is from a tree that grows in Central and South America and it grows really fast and it is considered a weed or a nuisance plant by farmers there. And it has to be harvested every 6 to 10 years because after that they just rot from the inside and fall down.
Oh, wow. So
they grow fast. They need to be maintained and cut down in a relatively short period of time. And because it's such a lightweight material, it's really relatively expensive. And you can get it anywhere.
That's awesome.
All craft stores have it. I get mine at Joann's.
So do you just buy it in a sheet or something?
You can buy it in sheets. You can buy it in squares. I buy Joann's will generally, or Michael's both. I kind of find that Joann's generally has more in stock than Michael's most of the time. But you can go in and you can buy little bags of sheets. They have it at Art Media or Blick Arts. It's not Art Media anymore. They have it in sticks, in blocks, whatever. And a bag of it, I have a bag that I've had for probably going on 3 years. And I use this stuff all the time, and I haven't hardly made a dent in it, and I paid $6 for this bag of balsa wood blocks.
Oh, wow.
And you can use, okay, so we're just going to go straight into the uses for it. Because, first of all, it's super easy to work with. You can cut it with scissors if you buy the sheets. You can draw on it and cut a shape out with scissors. You
Whoa.
can cut it with an X-Acto blade. You can cut it with, I have a little teeny mini hand saw. You can cut it with that. You can break it, just snap it. And you can carve it with wood carving tools, or I have a Dremel tool and I have a bunch of different bits that I use, different shape bits to do different things. You can carve the blocks with that.
Whoa.
It accepts all paints. Like, I have used watercolor as stain on it. I've painted it with acrylic paint. I've watered down acrylic paint and used it as stain when I'm doing like when I did the Forgotten Henry piece.
Mm-hmm.
I made hardwood floor it's a mixed media assemblage piece. I made my hardwood floor out of balsa wood, and I just watered down, brown acrylic paint and used it as a wash for stain on the floor.
That is awesome.
Anything sticks to it. Spray paint, you name it, and any glue works with it.
Wow.
Like all glues. I use wood glue more often than not. Hot glue works really well with it. Super glue works really well with it. Oh, sidebar, speaking of super glue. I don't have pictures of this, but I have to confess that I have glued myself to something again recently.
Is it something you did not? Oh, it's just something you did tell me about.
I told you about it. No, wait, did I tell you about gluing myself to my pancake griddle?
Yes.
Okay, I did. So, I was trying to put my pancake griddle on the shelf that it lives on, but I have to have a step stool to do it. And I'm not technically supposed to be climbing on step stools because of my balance problem, so I was trying to do it all fast in my unicorn slippers, which don't have very good traction.
That's me. That sound is me.
You're going shame. You're finger wagging me, aren't you?
I am finger wagging you.
Psh. So I started to slip off the stool and I stepped down, and what happened is my pancake griddle flipped over upside down and fell on the floor, and it snapped both the freaking handles off of it. So then I had to glue the handles back together. And I went on this to that, and this to that told me that I should be using super glue for this task. So I glued myself to the handles of my goddamn pancake griddle.
They don't take into consideration on this and that. Who's gluing stuff sometimes, I think.
I know. I don't think they do.
Oh
I think that and then I was so upset about that I dropped one of my husband's coffee cups that he got in Mexico. And I hate those fucking coffee mugs with a passion, so I knew he would think that I broke it on purpose. So I wanted to sneak. I totally did not break it on purpose. I actually slipped putting it into the dishwasher.
Oh.
So, what? Yes, I'm recording my podcast, Mom.
I can't get it on pause.
Oh, hold on. My mom is trying to work our remote control. What did you do?
Okay.
It's on pause.
It's on pause? Well, then push play. The sideways triangle is play.
I don't know how I got it on pause.
Well, you pushed the pause button.
No, I didn't. I was nowhere near it, goddammit. I was down here doing this stuff.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Apparently she pushed the pause button. I don't know. Anyway, then I glued myself to the mug because I was gluing the handle back on. So.
Oh. My God, you can still hear it.
Oh, did you hear what she said?
No. Oh.
She was talking to my dog. She goes, "Come on, Doodah. Let's go downstairs where people aren't being incredibly rude." Okay.
Oh my God.
We just went to the Hillsdale McMinimums for dinner, which I've had a few. And this lady left. I didn't even freaking see the woman, so I couldn't judge. And my mom goes, "She is too old to be pregnant. She could have a fucking mongoloid."
Oh my God.
Right?
That's horrible.
I said, "Mom, A, that is an awful thing to say, and I don't think that's correct terminology anymore. And B, why do you care? Don't say that kind of stuff out loud.
That's horrible.
We're in a public place." But yeah. So, my mom's insane, and I have superglued myself to more things. And now I totally got off track and forgot, other than talking about balsa wood, where I was.
We're talking about balsa wood. And you're talking about how you can paint it.
Yeah.
You can glue it, paint it, do anything with it.
Glue. That's what started it. So yeah, any glue works with it. Any paint works with it. We'll just go through the rundown of uses for it that I have found. And I know that a lot of other people... Oh, also, and it sands really... You can sand it too really easily. But one thing that I would do when I sand it, I would always wear, you should do this when you're sanding anything, but with balsa wood especially, you need to be wearing eye protection that seals around your eyes. Because that dust is so fine. I got some in my eye and it was horrid.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was a nightmare. So it's just really fine dust. It's crazy. So you want to definitely, you should always be wearing eye protection when you do stuff like that, but especially something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So uses for this. I talked a little bit about the fake hardwood floor, or the little hardwood floor I made in a mixed media assemblage. And I use it for structural elements in assemblages all the time. I make tiny furniture out of it.
Awesome.
And not tiny chair. Well, actually, I did make a tiny chair. Isn't that weird? Because I'm scared of tiny chairs. But I made a tiny chair. But it wasn't the specific size zone for my chair phobia thing. So I'll actually put a picture of Forgotten Henry on the blog.
Oh,
so
perfect.
People can see what we're talking about. But I made the little chair out of it and upholstered it. I made a bookshelf to go in that. You can use it to make anything that's not going to hold a lot of weight. You know, I mean, like, you don't want to make something that you're going to, like, I wouldn't make a real size chair out of balsa wood. Because, you know, that would not work. You would fall on the floor and it would suck.
Yeah.
And it would be embarrassing too. Because, you know, being the person that breaks the chair sucks.
It's true.
You can use it for all kinds of purposes like this. I know of people who use it for dollhouse furniture, which is creepy. But yeah, you know, I don't like dollhouse furniture. But people use it for dollhouse furniture. Hobbyists use it for, like, model airplanes. A lot of people make model airplanes out of it. And that's where the sheets, I think, come in handy. You can also use it for lightweight armature when you're sculpting mixed media artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Which I find especially helpful when I am using, because a lot of the sculptural work that I do, I use a 2-part epoxy resin clay. And that tends to get really heavy. It's not a lightweight clay.
Oh.
So when you're doing something in a piece that, like, I often work on canvas and build things out of the canvas. So when you're doing stuff with heavy clay, you kind of want something lighter as the understructure. And balsa wood, especially the blocks, if you can, like, just carve a rudimentary shape and then build on top of that, the super lightweight balsa wood really, really helps bring down the weight of a project.
Oh, that's cool.
And I also
I see. So you're making the project lighter because I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're not making such a heavy canvas because you don't want things to pull off the canvas, or you just don't. Sometimes you don't want. I mean, most people don't want to hang really heavy things on their wall for fear of it, you know, falling or whatever.
Yeah.
So it just makes an overall lighter piece of work. And I also use it when I wire lights into my artwork. You have to make, like, a little battery box and a switch box. I always make them out of the balsa wood sheets.
Oh, cool.
Because it's super lightweight, again, and it's easy to cut.
Yeah.
And I have these little teeny mini wood planes that are, like, just hand-sized, little tiny things that my husband got for me at Harbor Freight. And it's so easy to just, you know, if it's not the exact size you need it, just shave it down a teeny tiny bit. It's so soft. It's like cutting butter.
That's awesome.
So you can make these little, you know, boxes to hold the wiring and switches in your artwork. So that is definitely a plus, because a lot of times I don't feel like cardboard looks nice in the back. And sometimes cardboard, because it's thinner, it's also soaks up moisture. It's kind of hard sometimes to get it to lay flush and look like a professionally finished piece of work.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that. That's a great idea. Yeah, finishing pieces off.
So I actually did, when I was in graphic design school, we had to do, I had to take a couple of display design classes. And this stuff works great for signage and display plaques.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's because it's really lightweight. You don't have to go hefting around a big piece of wood when I'll post a picture of this too. I made this was so long ago. Oh my God. I made for a final class for this display design. I made a display case for my husband's barber shop for him to keep all of the pomades and stuff that he uses.
Uh-huh.
And it's called Bad Cahill's Barbershop. So I just drew a little shamrock and the lettering and everything on it. And then I used my Dremel tool just to router. It looked like you used a router. And I just cleaned out all the negative space around the lettering and the shamrock. And I left it grooves in it. So it kind of looked like, once I got it painted, it looked like somebody had carved a piece of wood.
Oh, cool.
So, because you know what I mean? Like, if you leave the grooves in it, it left, like, carved marks.
Mm-hmm.
So, any kind of display plaques or signs like that, it keeps the cost down, too. If you want to use wood for something like that, you can use balsa wood and then mount it to something more substantial.
Mm-hmm.
So that it keeps the price down and you're using something that's sustainable.
Yeah.
So, and again, if you're not a pro wood carver like I am, and you fuck it up, you don't feel so bad about fucking up a piece of wood.
Right.
Because you can just cut that crap up and use it for something else.
Right. That's awesome.
So any kind of displays like that. And I would even think like using it to make small display cases for things that are lighter weight, like a jewelry case.
Mm-hmm.
That would be perfect for that because, earrings, bracelets, necklaces are not heavy.
Yeah.
So you can cover that. You can cover the balsa wood with paint, or you can cover it with fabric or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So anything like that. And I also use it when I'm for project planning, like making mock-ups.
Oh.
And figuring out how I'm going to build stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing things like adding structural elements that may not be balsa wood in the end, but you're kind of blocking them out for space in your work and you want to just get the general shape going to kind of figure out where you're going to put stuff. It works really great for mock-ups like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seems so versatile.
It really is. And I think I think that it is something that people don't think of using.
Yeah, I mean, I've never used it. I never thought about using it for anything.
Yeah, no, it works really well. And I actually wrote a longer article. Oh my gosh, I think it was in 2011. I wrote an article on my blog about balsa wood that kind of goes a little bit more in depth. So I will definitely include a link to that on our blog.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, gosh, I think that's kind of it, unless you have any questions about balsa wood or anything like that you maybe wanted to ask.
No, I'm wondering if they use it like on inlays. Do they like dye balsa wood to use on inlays on like wood boxes and stuff?
I think they probably would. And here's the thing about balsa wood that you want to remember definitely. It's not a material that is going to handle a lot of wear and tear.
Mm-hmm. Because it's pretty soft, right?
It's very soft. It's easily dense.
Mm.
So if you're making pieces of work that are going to be handled a lot or beyond, like just people picking them up and looking at them, but anything that would be interactive or again, anything that would hold a substantial amount of weight, you're not going to want that. You're not going to want to use balsa wood. It's not the material for you in that situation. But yeah, I would imagine that they can do that. And I've made little jewelry boxes out of it. When I'm giving a gift and I need a little box, I've just kind of put a little box together because you can just use hot glue or wood glue to hold it together at the corners. And I actually use rubber bands to kind of hold it because you can't really squeeze it in a clamp.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll smash the wood. Or even just tape to hold it together until the glue dries. And I've made little tiny cute square boxes that I've, lined with felt or something like that and then painted. Mm-hmm. So it works really well for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly, but I feel like there's not much more I can really say about balsa wood. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that maybe we've kind of been keeping wraps on this, but maybe we should tell people what we were doing hanging out together today.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think? I'm kind of keeping it top
I don't
secret.
know.
But, so, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary, people. Like, super soon. Which is crazy. Can you believe that, Sharon?
I can't. It is kind of crazy.
It's nuts. So, for our 1-year anniversary, Sharon and I are going to be kicking off a Kickstarter project to raise a little bit of money to keep our podcast going and keep, we're paying out of pocket for things right now that we would like to be able to maybe get sponsors to pay for in the future. And we'll get into it more in the long run. But I went to Sharon's house today and I got to see her awesome little farm and hang out with her kids and her chickens, which is always a blast, and her awesome dogs. My mom's in love with your dog, by the way, your pug.
Oh, really?
She's like, I kind of wanted to take her home with me. She's the only pug I've ever known that hasn't annoyed me.
Oh, I wasn't sure. She was kind of looking at her a little perplexed when I kept saying, "Oh, my girlfriend."
No, she just thought that was funny. She goes, Sharon loves her dog.
I do love that dog.
But yeah, we went out there and we filmed the video part for our Kickstarter. So, and that'll go up. We'll announce that when it's going to go up. That'll be for our 1-year anniversary that's going to happen. But
yeah,
we had a lot of fun filming today. And thank Danny, your husband, again for doing that for us.
I will.
I think that we're going to have a really nice quality video, but way better than I could have done by myself. That is for damn sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why I got so giggly embarrassed when Danny was filming. It's not like I haven't known him for 20 some odd years. He knows I'm a weirdo.
That's funny. Well, because we're behind we don't have to be on camera when we're doing this.
No, nobody cares that I talk with my hands so horribly that I could actually knock a person out when they're sitting too close to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I know.
We could be picking our noses the entire time and nobody knows.
Sometimes I do pick my nose when we're recording. Nobody knows.
Huh?
Sometimes I record without pants on. Sometimes you just gotta fucking take your pants off, Sharon.
Sometimes you do.
I mean, I have underpants on, of course. I wouldn't sit in my office chair with no underpants on, but...
Well, if you wanted to, that's fine.
Sometimes you just gotta take your fucking pants off.
Sometimes you do.
We were wearing pants today, though, I assure you.
We were wearing pants.
Because,
yeah,
there were children about. We don't want to run around pantsless in front of the kids.
That's right. The horror.
Oh, the horror of it all. My mother actually would have been more horrified. Dude, you totally missed. I wish you would have been at the grocery store with us today when she had her little Betty White tantrum, too.
Oh, man.
I don't know what the hell.
I wish I would have been at the store, too.
What are you doing? All I said was, wow, that checker was kind of not friendly. And she's like, I don't fucking care anymore. I just want them to check my groceries out and not talk to me. Which, if you knew my mom, she's not antisocial like that. She was all, I just want to go home. And I'm like, Mom, are you hangry? And she goes, I'm turning into Betty White. Let's get out of here. I was like, whoa. It was like,
wow.
Someone released the Kraken. I'm like, just go to the car, woman. I'll be behind you.
Wow. That's rad.
She was crazy pants.
That's so funny. How long is she staying with you guys?
Well, she'll be here. She's here because I'm having my eye surgery this week. So.
Right.
She'll be here through the week, and then I'm going to go stay with her for a few days after my surgery. Because I can't bend over or pick anything up after I have my eye surgery.
That's terrible. I know. My friend at work had a eye surgery and she couldn't do that either.
Well, I was sitting here thinking, how the fuck am I going to get anything done?
Yeah.
If I
can't... Yeah. So how long are you staying with your mom?
Just for the week. Not a full
week.
Okay. Just until I decide I have to go home because I can no longer take the company of my mother and grandmother at once. So really, it depends on the drugs they give me after my surgery.
I got you.
If they're good drugs, I might be there a while. I don't know, but no, I'll be home. I always make myself sound like such a druggie. I'm totally not.
She's
kind of a wuss about taking pills too. Clearly, you heard me on the small dose of pain medicines I took after my ankle surgery. So that
Oh
really
my
wasn't a
God.
lot.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
So yeah, balsa wood. You should totally check it out. You should use some. I think you could use it for things that you wouldn't even suspect you could use it for. So
I'm gonna do it.
yeah, and like I said,
Do it.
I'll have some example pictures on our blog, and I will link the article that I wrote in my art blog Jesus Christ, it's been like 5 years or something. I don't know, 4 years ago. That'll actually probably have some of the same example pictures in it, but I'll also take some pictures of the different forms that it comes in, like the blocks or sheets or whatever, so you know what you're looking for when you go to the craft store
Nice.
to pick some up. So if you have any suggestions about what else we could do with balsa wood that we have not thought of. Oh, one more thing. I've totally carved stamps with balsa wood too.
Oh, nice.
It works excellent for that because it's so easy to cut.
Nice.
So there's that too. So if you have any ideas or questions about this episode or any others, you can email us at 2artsygals@gmail.com, and to go to our blog and check out our example pictures and links, that is 2artsygals.wordpress.com. So go check that out. And next week, Sharon and I are going to be talking about puppets,
Sweet.
which could get a little fucking weird because some puppets freak the shit out of me. But some puppets are awesome. So we're going to discuss those. And we're going to talk about why in the hell we're talking about puppets in the first place. Because we have more surprises for our anniversary that has something to do with puppets. But that's all I'm going to say. So if you want to subscribe to our podcast so you don't ever have to worry about when the new episodes go up, you can do that on iTunes and Stitcher. They both have free apps you can use for your phone. And I'm given to understand there are other, we're now on other like podcast streaming apps. I'm not unfamiliar with them, but if you use a different one, look for us because someone recently, Tunal or something like that. I don't know what that is, but someone emailed us recently and said that they found us on there. So you might want to look and see if we're on others too. Now, the two I know about are iTunes and Stitcher. So you can do that. And yeah. We'll be back next week with some puppet talk. So until then, go make some cool shit, yo!
Yo!